hottest topics, the latest rumors, in-depth discussions, and the biggest headlines. Your weekly WWE fix all in one place. Find us on YouTube, iTunes, Automatic, and SoundCloud. This is the Main Event Podcast with your hosts, Arif and Raza. It's time for the Main Event.
There's certainly a lot to look forward to in the coming days or weeks. First up is Backlash this Sunday. AJ Styles challenging Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship. The Cruiserweight Classic semi-final and the final takes place on the 14th, which is next Wednesday, I think. Only 4 stars left, and there's Clash of Champions towards the end of the month as well. I guess there is one more thing. Saturday night, UFC 203 in Cleveland, if you're interested in that. Alistair Overeem challenging Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title, but I think all eyes will be on CM Punk, let's be honest.
Can we talk about the CM Punk fight later?
Can we?
I don't know. Can we? You're the host.
We'll decide on the spot. But yeah, making his
that never means yeah.
making his debut inside of the Octagon as he goes up against Mickey Gall. So good luck to Punk on this new adventure. I'm sure he's listening. So yeah, good luck to him.
Good luck, Phil.
But what is up, wrestling fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Main Event Podcast. This is episode 58. I hope you're having a fantastic week and you're ready to join me for another hour or so of wrestling talk. As always, I'm your host, Rosa, and joining me once again is none other than Arif. How's it going?
Welcome to Wrestling Talk.
I think that's another name for a podcast, so let's not plug them. I think.
Welcome to the Main Event Wrestling Talk.
That'll do. Yeah, that's better.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're good.
Right then, in today's episode, we are finally covering the Cruiserweight Classic. Great timing as well.
In there, let's go. Okay, so the Cruiserweights. So it's around, 40 to 50 pounds, that sort of range?
I guess, if they're like... Yeah, that's like half, maybe.
Yep.
Not even that, it's like...
Do a lot of flips.
Yeah, that's what they do. But yeah, there's a lot to look at in terms of news, updates, predictions, all that fun stuff regarding the Cruiserweights.
Rey Mysterio.
No, yeah, I guess he's bulked up. Have you not seen images of him? He's not a Cruiserweight anymore.
Is he definitely not a Cruiserweight?
He's not a Cruiserweight, yeah. And it's also a prediction
Dominic, give me the chicken fries.
It's also a prediction episode. So we are dissecting the Backlash event taking place this weekend. And of course, the van is parked outside and it contains the 5 biggest scoops over the last week. Because I said biggest scoops, it's been a really bad week, guys.
Do you want me to bring in the scoops now, or are you good to...
I think they're really bad scoops, so even if you bring them in and they melt, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, you can
All right,
keep them.
I'll go get them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, while he does that, we can talk about how you can listen. Before we get on with the show, I just have to remind you that there are plenty of ways you can tune in every single week. Head on over to iTunes and YouTube, type in the Main Event Podcast and click that subscribe button. Tune in every single week, like the episodes, comment, recommend to all of your friends who like the WWE as well. We'd greatly appreciate that. And you can also head over to Podomatic and SoundCloud. Again, type in the Main Event Podcast. You should see our title belt logo pop up somewhere. Follow us there too. Everything else will be in the description boxes, wherever it is you're listening. Email address, social media, links, articles, all that fun stuff. So head on over there too if you're interested. I'm sure you're all aware, those of you that listen on YouTube, that the previous 2 episodes aren't on there. I'm still working on that.
Well, who have we got to blame for that one?
It's my broadband, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on that. So for now, please stick to Podomatic, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Please, I hope this one will get up to iTunes. No, iTunes, YouTube. Okay, then. With the first topic, we are kicking off the show with the Cruiserweight Classic.
Finally!
Yeah, I think great timing, isn't it? It's ending next week, so why not talk about it this week?
Exactly.
This past week, we had the quarterfinal matches. Gran Metalik defeating Akira Tozawa. Zack Sabre Jr. submitted Noam Dar. Kota Ibushi defeated Brian Kendrick. And TJ Perkins defeated NXT's Rich Swann. That means either, as you know, Gran Metalik, Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi, or TJ Perkins will be leaving with the trophy. And the honour of being the first winner of the Cruiserweight Classic. That should be interesting to see how they go with that. Right off the bat, Arif, who's winning the tournament?
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi, why is that?
100%.
Why is that?
Because he has made a name for himself out in Japan.
Okay.
He is making a name for himself here, and this would be the perfect way. The problem I have with a lot of Japanese talent is they don't really seem to get over that well with the US crowd. So giving him something like this to allow him to then debut onto the main roster and for people to take notice as the first winner of the Cruiserweight Classic really elevates his career. I mean, you only have to look at someone like who's the guy who recently returned? Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
compare him to the other NXT talents at the time, he's not broken out. And obviously he's been injured for a long time, but there's that real limiting factor. And I feel like Kota Ibushi, without something like this, is going to have the same sort of problem. So I'm going for Ibushi.
I mean, with Ibushi, I mean, you can say he has got a reputation to be over. I mean, you saw it with Shinsuke Nakamura.
But Shinsuke's a different kettle of fish completely, because Shinsuke isn't a cruiserweight, so you've got that believability factor. Yeah. He's been in these UFC-style fights as well. For me, Shinsuke is a more out-and-out wrestler, a more out-and-out real fighter, whereas Ibushi just seems like he's a little bit smaller in stature, and he hasn't really got that behind him, so he needs something like this, in my opinion, to really get himself over in front of the main event crowd.
Right, okay. So you're saying he needs the Cruiserweight Classic?
I think he does. I think he really does. And I think he needs it more than anyone else that's left in there.
Fair point. What about the other... Well, I mean, you think... Okay, you're saying Ibushi will win it, but there's the other match. There's the... who is it? Is it Gran Metalik and Zack Sabre Jr., I believe it is?
I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. speaks for himself as well, though. I think it's... I think Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't need the win.
Okay.
But he's amazing, isn't he? He's absolutely immense.
Yeah.
He makes everything look so effortless in the ring. It's... Oh, wow.
I think it's tricky now because talent-wise, anybody can, Jamie, let's be honest. Or I think anyone would be happy with any of these guys.
Who do you want to win?
Well, I mean, who I wanted to win. I think WWE or Triple H would have had a tough time narrowing it down to these final four when it was announced. Who I wanted to win, or who I had winning it when the competitor was announced, was Rich Swann. I thought, being an NXT guy, they would have had their own win it.
No, but this is the thing, though. I think it takes it away from the Cruiserweight Classic and the idea of bringing in outside wrestlers if someone in NXT or the WWE wins it.
Oh, but now I'm pleased that it's not gone that way. This was when the whole list was announced of competitors. So I think it is a good decision to have four of them who aren't with the WWE, who weren't with the WWE, should I say.
And they are now.
They are. Well, most of them are.
Scoop number 3.
Kota Ibushi... It's actually not. Kota Ibushi and TJ Perkins. If I break it down, I can safely say I never watched Perkins before this, but I am blown away by him. Mm-hmm. Incredible performer. Was it TNA who had him under a mask?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. Incredible performer. I do think, as you said, Ibushi will win this match, mainly because he's arguably the biggest name in the Final Four. There are rumours that he will eventually sign with the WWE. I don't think he's signed right now.
Oh.
So that, I thought that could play a part in it.
Well, does he really need a WWE run?
I think he'll want it, seeing what success you can have, like when you see Shinsuke Nakamura and how most of the fans are captivated by him, and you do want that. As in, if he'll have options, but when you're a wrestler growing up, you do want a run in the WWE, regardless of what you say. It's
that is the big time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think he will eventually sign. So I think on that reason, you can already imagine those headlines. WWE signed the winner of the Cruiserweight Classic, Japanese sensation, Japanese superstar. So I think Ibushi does advance into the final. Then, do I have to answer the next? I mean, it's a final, isn't it? Gran Metalik and Zack Sabre Jr. I think the common answer would be Sabre. So much hype into this. One of the biggest household names on the independent scene as well.
The WWE doesn't always go with hype.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think sometimes the WWE thinks, well, if someone has hype already, then this can be used to springboard someone else.
That's true.
Into that position.
I do think he falls into the same bracket as Ibushi as well. I mean, he's expected to sign with the company, he hasn't signed yet. I think it will be in 2018. So you can already imagine those big headlines. WWE finally signed Zack Sabre Jr., winner of the Cruiserweight Classic. Personal choice, I want Gran Metalik to win the whole thing. I think that's the out-of-the-box pick right now. When I try to visualize it, all I can see are Sabre and Ibushi in the final. Putting on an incredible match. So I think Zack beats Metalik in the semi-final. Ibushi beats Perkins. The final should be a good match. I don't think I'll try sugarcoating it or beating around the bush. Because, I mean, who does that? Why waste time when you could be answering the question?
Exactly.
That's
exactly
when you need an answer for it. So, yeah. Those are the worst kind of people, aren't they?
The worst.
The ones who waste time answering an important question. I mean, yeah.
Just... don't know why they do it.
Kota Ibushi. I'm going to go with Kota
there
Ibushi
we go.
to win it all. It's not. This is a good thing when you're struggling to pick a winner in something like this. It just shows that
You'd be happy with whoever wins because you know the match is going to be great.
Exactly. Right. Okay.
Well, we finally spoke about the cruiserweights.
We're talking about the cruiserweight division as a whole. So the classic has been discussed. I mean, there's only so much we can talk about semi-final and final.
True.
Unless we had more matches, which is our fault for not bringing it up. Plenty of updates and news regarding the whole division, though. A rumor has been going around. Whether it actually happens is a different story, but yeah, I'm sure you remember so much criticism that the cruiserweight division was exclusive to Raw.
Yeah.
Everyone thought, SmackDown was synonymous with it. Once WCW closed its doors, all the cruiserweights were there. Your Chavo Guerrero's, Rey Mysterio's, everyone.
Juventud.
Yeah. That may not be the case for much longer, though. Rumor, emphasize on that, rumor has it that Vince McMahon wants both brands to be equal in terms of championship titles. That's why, we saw the women's title come, we saw the tag team championships come. So depending on the initial success of the cruiserweight division on Raw, which could come down to Triple H, in fact, because many people think Vince will give up on it, SmackDown Live could eventually get their own cruiserweight division. Is this the right call?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. When you say cruiserweight, you don't just mean these wrestlers who fit into a certain weight bracket. Cruiserweight means so much more than that. Cruiserweight means exciting, uplifting, crazy matches that don't stop 100% from start to finish. It's just this whirlwind of a destruction of just a fight, essentially, and it's really enjoyable. And to see that on both Raw and SmackDown, who isn't going to want to watch that? Who isn't going to want to watch that? You give and plus SmackDown is lacking in that sort of sense as well. Yes, we've always said that SmackDown is probably getting better at the moment. Maybe they're not better than Raw altogether, but they definitely have an altogether better show at the moment, I think. And putting the cruiserweights on there would be immense.
It certainly helped with 2 hours as well. I mean, Raw, I think everyone does say the third hour of Raw.
Oh, wow. This week, that third hour, wow.
I don't know. That's the thing. So I do think the cruiserweights can help that third hour because they can fill up the slot with a lot better matches, storylines as well. So. But yeah, I think it's a good call. And I was always someone who said it should have been on SmackDown, but I do think it is better to have it on both shows rather than one.
I think if it was on SmackDown exclusively, then you'd have to move SmackDown to 3 hours, and that's not something they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I just think it would mean less pointless feuds on TV, perhaps.
Are there any pointless feuds on SmackDown?
I don't know. I think I can really think of.
I can't think of any pointless feuds at the moment.
I think the Miz and Ziggler is over.
No, but it's still an Intercontinental title match. It's still an Intercontinental title feud.
I guess, but it's like something that's come from nowhere. The number one contender, the previous number one contender to the World Championship, as we predicted last month, will go back to fighting the Intercontinental Champion. That's the thing. I don't think there are enough mid-card feuds. You got your World Title feud, you got your Multi-Woman Divas feud, Multi-Woman Divas, whatever.
Multi-Woman Divas.
You've got your Miz feud, if you can count that, and the tag
There's no
team
Apollo
as well.
Crews.
Exactly. There's nothing. Thank you. So I do think Cruiserweights could have benefited them. Whereas Raw do have 50 odd superstars who they can just
that's true.
Give the spotlight to. But yeah, I don't want to see a 3 hour SmackDown because that would just be torture. 3 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday.
Oh wow.
No. But yeah, I think it is better to have it on 2 shows rather than 1, especially when you consider they really want SmackDown to compete with Raw. So why would you give all the benefits to Raw and have SmackDown staying behind, then complaining that SmackDown is behind? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's good in a way though, because Raw is always going to seem superior to SmackDown purely because of A, the roster, like you said, and B, the 3 hours versus 2 hours. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah.
Giving Raw the cruiserweights, though, obviously from an actual Raw versus SmackDown point of view, doesn't make any sense. But from a TV show point of view, it does. I realise that the WWE are trying to drum up this competition between Raw and SmackDown right now, but I guess to me it doesn't seem like they're doing it. I mean, look, if there was real competition, then you wouldn't advertise SmackDown on Raw.
Of course.
And things like this. So it's just WWE programming.
I mean, there will be internal competition. The stars of Raw would want to be better than the stars of SmackDown, and vice versa.
But then the stars of SmackDown have got an unloaded gun. when they're going into this fight because they don't have the cruiserweights.
Exactly, that's why we think they should have it. I can see it happening too, though. I mean, when you have Daniel Bryan in charge, I think it is more realistic of him revealing this massive news somewhere down the line. Because he is an advocate of cruiserweight wrestling, he is a small guy. And I think from my knowledge so far, Raw has already taken, 9 to 12 cruiserweights maybe from the Classic.
Mm-hmm.
So there are still plenty of big names out there, even if they're not in the Classic. I mean, even if they're not in the tournament.
Are you not spreading it too thin then?
I was saying, the thing with that is, you already have big names out there who can be on SmackDown. If Zack Sabre Jr. hasn't signed, Kota Ibushi hasn't signed,
True.
and this news comes out in 2018, because it's not going to be this year, that's a fact. It's going to be probably more than a year down the line now. So I guess it is an advantage for both shows, so the stars involved, the company, the fans. And the thing here is you don't need to just limit yourself to the new cruiserweights. You do have stars on paper who are cruiserweights who can help that division.
What if they bring back the light heavyweight division?
Isn't that just like...
It was the WWE version, well, the WWF version of the cruiserweights.
Well, I guess that's just... That's
oh my God, Michael, it's the light heavyweight division, Michael.
That's okay, I guess. I think SmackDown can get away with that, but... I don't know, it's a bit of a tricky one. A light heavyweight versus a cruiserweight, as in... Even though they're relatively the same thing.
Exactly.
When you put it towards kids, it's... I don't know, which one would they prefer?
Well, cruiserweight's been touted and promoted for the last, 8 or 9 years?
Exactly.
So, probably cruiserweight, actually, yeah.
Exactly. But
get rid of the light heavyweight division, WWE. Scrap it.
You brought it in. So
just bring in the cruiserweights.
One of the things that has been said about the division, though, is that current stars on the roster, as I just said, should be able to compete in the division. So, don't just have your Cruiserweight Classic guys who they've advertised. You've got your Sami Zayns, your Nevilles. Whoever else is a cruiserweight on paper.
Not Sami Zayn.
Okay, not Sami Zayn, but everyone else.
Not Sami Zayn. No, we need to talk about this because you've said this last week and you said I let it go last week.
Okay.
You can't bring Sami Zayn into the cruiserweight division when he's supposed to be the face of a company.
Okay. My viewing of this is right now Sami Zayn won't be the face of the company.
No, but in 5 years he will be, and then we'll look back and think, well, actually, he was just a cruiserweight. You don't want to allude to any part of him being a cruiserweight.
Well, I mean, would you rather have him doing what he's doing now, or would you rather have him being the face of the cruiserweight for maybe a year and then move
right now
into
he's in big feuds though. Like, okay, fair enough. At the last pay-per-view, he didn't have much to do, but he's facing people like Jericho. He's facing people like Kevin Owens. He's facing people like Neville, and he's in that sort of bracket. He's in the mid-card bracket, which is perfect for him. So, in my opinion, the cruiserweights, because it's such a separate division, as soon as you put someone in that, it's hard to see them outside of the cruiserweight division.
Okay, let me tell you about this then. This is the point, which links in well. Something I read online, an opinion, doing the rounds quite a bit though. Multiple people are picking up on it, including Give Me Sport. Go check it out. The cruiserweight title needs to mean something, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah, true.
It's good to create competition, and the opinion is that there's only one person in all of WWE who can make that championship mean something.
No, but Mojo Rawley isn't the weight ring.
Not only mean something, but eventually draw more or similar to the Universal Championship. That man, Enzo Amore. Do you think if Enzo becomes the face of the Cruiserweight division, who can still be alongside Big Cass, don't get me wrong, do you think he could be someone who can rival the Universal Champion in terms of getting more, drawing more, being more prominent on shows, things like that?
My name is Enzo Amore!
Yeah, and can you?
I can't do the voice very well. That really hurts.
That hurt my eardrums. I mean,
I've heard he's a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And I would be very, very happy with him being our Cruiserweight champion. I think he's the perfect fit for that division. And like you said, he will elevate things because he's so damn good on the mic. Now, I guess then comes the question, what if Cass was the world champion at the same time?
That's the interesting thing about it. Is little things like this can help both men. So if Big Cass won the world title, that would help Enzo for sure.
Imagine if they never won the tag team championships and they just became singles title holders.
I mean, right now I wouldn't be surprised because they are good. I mean, they do make each other better. Without Enzo, Cass maybe wouldn't be as good as he is now, but now that he has the platform with Enzo, he is destined for success.
Mm-hmm. And he's 7 foot tall,
Exactly.
and you can't teach that.
I think it all depends on the booking, though, doesn't it? Obviously, on paper, it's fantasy booking. We'd love to see Enzo as Cruiserweight champion. Does sound like a great idea. Again, I think it depends on whether he's seen as someone who's needed in the division. I mean, if the division is doing incredibly well without him, great. If he isn't, I do think he is an instant fix in terms of getting eyes on the Cruiserweight division.
And I think it's also going to be very telling as to where Cass is, because Cass also probably needs Enzo more than Enzo needs Cass at the moment.
Yeah.
And I just mean in the sense of getting themselves over and having that vocal voice for the group. So if Cass is able to get himself over and move into that World Championship picture, or even just a singles career picture, even if it's with Enzo Amore by his side, then I think it'll be a good place for Enzo to be.
I think they do need each other, really.
It's like us, Raza.
I guess.
Need each other. Say it.
Do I have to?
Say it.
We need each other.
There it is. You heard it here first from Raza, people.
But yeah, in terms of rivaling or drawing more than the Universal Champion,
How do I cut that audio?
Talent-wise, of course, you can do it. Nobody engages the crowd like he does. So yeah, talent-wise, he can be the biggest champion in company if they wanted to. Booking-wise, I don't think it will happen just yet. If it does, I'd be surprised. But it's a good idea. You can't deny that. Interesting, though.
But you hate surprises.
I don't mind some. I like good surprises. But I guess you don't know the surprise until you're surprised.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to be surprised by the cake I've got you?
I can act surprised now, yeah. I mean...
Oh, damn it.
Okay, final topic on the Cruiserweight. This was something interesting. Something I actually messaged you about saying this is interesting, basically. That's what it is. I want to cast your mind back to... you're going to say it makes no sense. Why is he bringing this up? I want to cast your mind back to Zara Schreiber, if that's how you pronounce her name. The ex-girlfriend of Seth Rollins. We actually talked about a situation last year. Her Nazi images, which ended up seeing her released from a contract.
Not the only images that we saw.
Well, I guess, yeah, but let's not bring those up. Talking of those, though, I've heard there are more images of him messaging and sending pictures, by the way, a certain someone. Just saying. Seth
Rollins?
Yeah, Seth, not Rollins.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Before I continue, just to be clear, you do think they were right to release her, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Noam Dar, the 23-year-old Cruiserweight Classic competitor who lost last week to Zack Sabre Jr., he has signed a deal with the WWE. We've seen a video package of him on Raw, the Cruiserweight division that they're arriving on Raw. He was in it, so he's officially part of the company. However, some old tweets have resurfaced, and when you hear that, that's always bad news, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Based on the time these were sent out, I'm assuming he was 18, maybe 19. Anyway, some of the things he said are... Well, you can decide how to take them, I guess. I'll try my best to avoid the bad language, but I'll, give you a good idea of what was said. I mean, the transcript of it all is on GiveMeSport.com/WWE, some more shameless plugging, so check it out there if you're interested. I mean...
What's this guy called? Noah Jardar?
Noam Dar, Noam-Dar.
Okay.
I don't even want to read these, but I have to, right? Okay,
Everyone, bear in mind, these thoughts and feelings may be the case that they are in line with Raza's thoughts and feelings on these matters, but we don't know. So
I'm not going to confirm. Actually, no, they're not. They're really bad. Right, okay, the first one, he said... this is part of a conversation because I don't think he'd said this out of nowhere, so I don't know the context of the conversation, but it's still pretty bad. Mm-hmm. I stand corrected. It was my girlfriend. I'm still going to sexually abuse my little brother. # it's alright on a Friday night. We have one from the London 2012 Olympics.
Okay.
If you didn't shout and fried rice at your TV screen when the China team came out, you're racist. # Olympic ceremony. And then, hey, how funny would it be if people used the song the N-word song on Vines? So then, what should the WWE do with this? I'm assuming this will fall on their desk for sure. I don't think this will be avoided because it is everywhere now, online.
I mean, if it was any other job, they'd be fired.
Any other job?
any other job, they'd be fired. This guy just seems very like age isn't really an exclusion factor when you're thinking about things like this. I'm really shocked. Also, who saves these conversations?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to go. As sad of a situation as it might be for him being a wrestler, being young, I don't think the WWE can pick and choose what happens with things like this. You fired Zara Schreiber, you fired Hogan. If this young guy's left off the hook, I don't think it sets a great example. Mm-hmm. Sure, I understand. Young, 18 years old, you're foolish, you say stupid things. You never think the WWE are going to come knocking on your door to sign you. But as I said, if this lands on their desk, which I imagine it will, I do think they'll need to take action. Otherwise, it looks bad on them.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if they let this slide, though, like it's nothing. But yeah, I do think, as you said, I do think whoever started digging into his history to ruin his career is incredibly sad. I hate that because, whoever it is could potentially ruin his career for him, which is sad. This is a person who might not be getting to WWE now. But yeah, if the WWE finds out about this, I imagine they will take action regardless of how old the tweets are. I mean, you never know. A future star might be posting Nazi propaganda right now, and in 5 years he signs with the WWE as an older version of himself. I don't think they'd belong there. Noam Dar might be a great guy. I don't know him to judge him, which is why I sympathise with whatever happens. I can't stress enough that this is if the WWE take action. They might not. If they do take action and they don't sign him or they let him go, I will feel bad for him because he's young, has a bright future. But facts are facts. He posted offensive tweets. Has to pay the price for it.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's always difficult in this day and age because we are caught in between at this point in time. We're in between because we've still got people like this who probably haven't grown up as close to the internet, but then feel like now that they have this freedom, they're able to say whatever they want, and then obviously it comes back and it bites them when they get older. And Noam Dar is a perfect example of that. And if it has to be that this person is now a lesson for the future, for any future person who wants to... I mean, look, you shouldn't be posting stuff like that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why you have so much hate in your heart. Even if it is supposed to be a joke, it's still putting down or being derogatory towards another human being. I mean, there's a fine line between comedy and tragedy, and this just happens to be a situation where Noam Dar is going to have to be a tragedy figure.
This wasn't funny in any sense of it, but I'm saying if you're a wrestler and you're trying...
No, but I think his intention was the comedy side.
Yeah, but that's... Yeah, he completely misjudged that, didn't he? I do think, if you're a wrestler and you're trying to get noticed by WWE, he's relatively a big name in the UK independent scene. Why wouldn't you go back and delete those in the first place? I mean, it's silly. I mean, fair enough, you might have grown up a bit, your thoughts might be different, but at that time you did have a lot of
To be fair, it's probably not even something he thought about, because at the time he probably didn't even think it was wrong, and I think in these situations, it's right for the WWE to make an example of him.
Yeah, I do think the amount of eyes on this right now online, I do think WWE will come across it for sure. But yeah,
look, even if he's a different person right now, even if he's completely changed, at the end of the day, he should have had the hindsight to go through all of his social media and remove anything that could have been any sort of detrimental, and then that way at least he's got that in his mind, like, you know what, I want to show that I've got this clean image now because I do have it. However, because he didn't do that, and like I said, it'll be a lesson for other people who want to be in the WWE in the future to go back and you check your stuff to make sure you've got nothing that's going to come and bite you. But this is such his life. I mean, when we started this podcast, I had to go through all my social media. I had so much hatred for people called Rosa.
Yeah,
I had to remove it all, and now it just looks like I'm practically in love with you.
I guess that's pretty sweet.
Practically, not.
Yeah, I don't want to bash you on the podcast, but yeah.
Always someone listening.
It's just a strange situation to be involved in. Can't deny his talent.
It's not anymore, though, is it? Though it's not strange anymore with the arrival of the internet, with the arrival of being closer to celebrities. Celebrities literally get to say something, and then you can view it on your phone a second later.
Fair point.
So he should have been mindful of this, even if it was when he was 18. How old is he now?
23.
5 years. It's not that long ago.
But yeah, again, I can't stress enough. This is if the WWE take action. We think they should.
Well, if not, then he's got lucky, though.
Yeah. Well, we will cool down from that.
Whew.
Whatever you want to call that with Norm.
It's so warm in here, Raza.
Is it all that anger building up inside you because of Noam Dar?
So much anger.
let's relax then. Let's enjoy the scoops. Arif, do you want to take it away with this week's brand new theme, putting you on the spot?
I've been working very, very hard on this one, Reza.
Okay. Is this just for me?
The scoops, the scoops, Reza scoops are the best. No other podcast has the scoops. That's.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I thought you wanted me to stop there. I was gonna.
I thought you'd stop like 30 seconds ago, but yeah. 5 big stories. I emphasize it's not big, but there's things that you still have to cover on the podcast.
Oh my god, I've got a really good one for next week. But I'll forget it. Can I just do it now and then we can cut it out and then put it into next week's show?
I make no promises, but
okay. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Listeners, are you ready?
We're ready.
Sierra, Charlie, Oscar, Papa, scoops.
Okay, that's a pretty good one.
And then we can put the audio afterwards, and then get a copyright strike because the WWE are terrible.
I guess, or I could just.
Okay, you can leave it in. All right, fine. Listeners, you get 2 news themes this week. You get 2 scoops themes.
Lucky. Right, number 5. We are starting with Kevin Owens. This is an interesting one. Please don't quote me on this. And it's why it's at number 5. If it happens, it should have been at number 1. Well, he is defending the Universal Championship at Clash of Champions. It could be against Seth Rollins. It could have.
Is that a scoop? That's not a scoop.
It could have Roman Reigns in the match as well. I guess we'll find out on Monday. This is a rumor by ringtalk.com, so it's incorrect. Go to them, not to me. They're suggesting that.
But if it's correct, Reza thought of this.
Yeah, of course. Then all credit goes to me. They're suggesting that Kevin Owens could be dropping the title at Clash of Champions.
What?
They're claiming that Stephanie McMahon and or Mick Foley could play a part in the finish, allowing the title to switch hands.
What?
Yeah, the reason for this is because they apparently want Owens to win the title on his own merit, not have Triple H help him, which doesn't make any sense because he's a heel.
Yeah,
but
we spoke about this last week as well.
But they think it's too similar to the Triple H and Rollins booking. Again, I'm on the edge with this. I don't know whether to believe it or not. I'll be surprised if it happens, but if it doesn't, remember ringtalk.com with 2 Ks in there. So.
Go give them your hate.
Yeah. At number 4, again.
Why has it got 2 Ks?
I don't know. I think that just says it all.
Let me have a look at this website. Ring. Oh my days. Well, the website isn't loading. Oh wow. Well, this has got nothing on it.
Well, it clearly has that on it, but I don't know what to make of that.
They've got less likes than us on Facebook.
That's not because they're not popular, just because everyone loves us. That's what that is.
No, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
And you can only like one thing at a time,
Exactly.
So people have obviously just chosen
And
us.
number 4, again, it's doing the rounds online. A few places have reported it, not Ring Talk, though. But it seemed to be a quiet week, so I guess you can take this with a grain of salt, unless one of the big publications do pick up on this story. If it happens...
And take all the salt.
Yeah, Cesaro currently 3-1 down to Sheamus in the best of 7 series. Many people think he will win the entire series now.
I don't think he will. Can I tell you why he won't before you go ahead and reveal the scoop?
Okay.
Because there aren't that many matches now. There aren't that many weeks now until Clash of Champions.
I think Clash of Champions is the 7th match.
No, not anymore. It would have been if they'd had a match. I think it was 2 weeks ago on Raw, but they didn't. They didn't have a match the night after the pay-per-view, the night after SummerSlam. So
isn't it because they've had 4 matches because Cesaro won 1 at the house show.
Oh, was it? That's where they. Okay,
house show.
Never mind then.
So then there'll be 2 Raws and a Clash of Champions left, I think.
Damn.
You never know. They might just have Cesaro lose the last one after that Cinderella story. But yeah, rumours suggest that he doesn't have long left on his contract. And apparently he won't re-sign with the company as well. Again, a rumour.
No.
He could be out before 2018.
No, it gets worse.
The frustration he showed on television was genuine, so maybe that plays a part in it. But again, if it happens, surprising, but we'll wait and see what happens with it. Surely a move to SmackDown fixes everything for him.
Stop. He's already gone.
Number 3, not a WWE superstar yet. Prince Puma, who many of you might know as Ricochet on the independent scene. Actually,
Prince Puma in Lucha Underground.
yes. Actually, many fans were hoping he'd be in the Cruiserweight Classic, but yeah, Prince Puma, part of Lucha Underground.
He didn't want to be.
Season 3 gets underway. Apparently, he's considering opting out of his deal with Lucha Underground, which could pave the way for him to finally join the WWE. Something he has shown a genuine interest in, even more so in the last week or so in a few interviews. The thing with Lucha Underground's contracts mean you can't compete elsewhere while the season is airing, and I think Season 3 started this week, so it's going to be quite a while, but we can compete elsewhere. However, the interesting thing is that Ricochet competes as Prince Puma at Lucha Underground under a mask.
Mm-hmm.
This means he may be able to compete on television, whether that's WWE, Ring of Honor, TNA, wherever, but he won't be able to do it as Prince Puma. It will be Ricochet. Perhaps WWE are never going to use him as Prince Puma under a mask.
Oh, but Prince Puma's such a good character.
Exactly. So that means if he opts out, he can compete as Ricochet, so the WWE probably will be interested for sure. So you guys should keep your eyes and ears peeled for this one. That's if he opts out of his Lucha Underground deal. But I agree, Prince Puma is a really good character.
Prince Puma.
Number 2, rumoured backstage heat. Again, there's heat every week, isn't there?
So it must be so warm in that backstage area.
They need the scoops, Arif.
They need the scoop more than anyone else.
Backstage heat, apparently, on a particular Raw promo earlier this week from WWE Superstars themselves, not the officials. Any guesses on who you think it is?
I think it must be Sasha.
It was the Sasha Banks segment.
It must be Sasha. It was so bad.
Well, hear me out. It's not just because it was bad. Apparently, some of the guys and girls didn't like how they used the Daniel Bryan retirement-esque angle to gain sympathy before revealing that big swerve. Although, to me, it felt like more of a Mark Henry swerve, if I'm honest.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, apparently...
It just didn't have the same impact as the Mark Henry swerve, because
exactly.
I think we all knew it wasn't real.
But yeah, apparently they didn't like how the WWE used real-life situations in their angles. Edge was forced to retire. Tyson Kidd, his career is effectively over now. His contract's coming up. And they felt upset by seeing this. They thought it was disrespectful to them, who have had to, cut short their careers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the WWE stars backstage are hating on creative. To reiterate, no heat on Sasha. The heat on creative with this one.
Mm.
So yeah, again, can't deny it was such a bad promo.
It was so bad. There are some times that I think Sasha is amazing, and then when she opens her mouth, it's just sometimes it's pretty terrible.
Just keep it short, Sasha.
I mean, she's no Alexa Bliss.
You know what irritates me? And it's off topic. Charlotte just shouting randomly from nowhere. I don't know why she does that. But yeah, at number 1, it's Paige again.
What?
Paige, number 1 scoop. The original.
Is she gone yet?
Let's hear me out. The original scoop I had was more of an update, but there have been some developments overnight. This may be why you saw me typing away earlier on.
I did see you typing away.
Well, I mean, we're in this big studio, so you must have seen me. We need to get this in there for sure. What do we know so far? Del Rio should be on his way out. Mm-hmm. Paige could follow him after she serves her 30-day suspension. However, as of 2 days ago, she reportedly, took things up a notch. She's gotten lawyers involved. They're helping Paige explore her options, looking for loopholes to get out of her contract.
Oh, really?
Yep. But however, overnight, so when I woke up, I read this. Multiple sources online are claiming that she's officially quit the WWE. Wow. Now she's just waiting for the WWE to announce her release. I guess we'll know more when and if it's up on WWE.com, when their future endeavor, or the Twitter page, or something like that.
This is my house!
Not anymore. But with all the problems going on, I think both sides are okay with it. WWE don't need this sort of weekly negativity coming towards them. I certainly don't want to be talking about it. Now I don't even care. She's talented. She knows that. WWE were looking out for her. Bright future. But if she wants to throw that away, be my guest. Some people
She'd rather be with Alberto El Patron than follow her dreams. So good luck to her.
Some people would kill to be in her position, so stupid. Whatever.
What, with Alberto? No,
being a top WWE diva with title reigns and being 23, 24 with such a long career ahead of you. But yeah, whatever. She decided to do with her career, follow Del Rio like lost puppies. So silly.
Hey, gringo, I want to marry your daughter.
Exactly what I was going to say to her dad.
That's exactly what he's going to say to her parents.
But yeah, those are the scoops. If you have any updates or anything interesting in this really dry week in terms of news, please let us know. Right then, let's move on now. And I think it's week 8, am I not right, in terms of the brand split?
It is week 8.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say there was some excitement heading into both shows in terms of this being Owens' first night as champion and this being the final SmackDown before Backlash.
But
I'll ask you first before I go. Who do you think? I think Raw's in a 4-2 lead over SmackDown.
Yeah, and I think Raw takes the 5-2 lead.
Okay.
With the caveat that last hour was terrible.
Just about. As in last week it was difficult as well when Raw took the points.
I think this week the only redeeming factor was Kevin Owens.
Yeah. As in, have to keep in mind, it might be a 5-2 lead, but the podcast does get a point for one really bad week where we couldn't pick a winner.
True. Are you going for Raw as well?
I have to. I think the excitement, as I said, played a big factor in it. I mean, I was excited for SmackDown. I thought they'd do something special in their final stop before Backlash. But I think I was genuinely more excited for Raw. I think it was because I was eager to see Owens as the Universal Champion, if Triple H was going to be there. The general fallout from the week before, which was massive.
Oh, but Triple H wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, of course. But as in the excitement factor, as in what's he going to do? He wasn't there. I was a bit let down, but I was still excited about it.
We got the Seth Rollins face turn. What do you think of Seth Rollins' match as well with Jericho?
I'm interested to see how he goes from here because I do think he has a few hidden moves in his arsenal which suit face.
He's a lot more fast-paced now, which is really entertaining to see.
I think the good thing about Rollins' face turn is that he still did not suck up to the fans. It might do later on, but right now it's all about him.
I really hope he doesn't because he doesn't need to. He's not the sort of superstar that does.
He can come out, do the business, get cheered, go back. But yeah, I think Raw does edge it this week, not by a long shot, which I found surprising. I do think SmackDown had some good moments from the night. The Usos heel turn, The Miz was good, some good matches. But I think if we base it off 2 hours, Raw utilised their first 2 hours better than SmackDown's 2 hours as a whole. I just think it's difficult to explain. I think the best way to put it is that I expected more from SmackDown with Backlash being on Sunday.
True.
I didn't get that exciting vibe from it. I don't know what it comes down to either. Maybe I think it's Ambrose a WWE champion, I think what he's doing now isn't doing the title any justice. I feel already it feels inferior to the Universal title. Mm-hmm. Already. I mean, Universal title seems like the must-watch championship right now, where WWE is just there. I mean, which is a shame. So I do think Raw takes it. Are we agreeing to that? 5.
I think it has to. I think it has. Yeah, 5-2-1.
Damn, 5-2. That's not healthy. I don't know. SmackDown needs to pull something out of the bag.
I think we expected this though.
I guess, but I think there was still a bit of hope that
SmackDown. Look, one or two people on SmackDown, so AJ Styles and Alexa Bliss, aren't gonna win SmackDown points.
True. But I guess
just because they're the two most talented people on the roster.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Sticking with SmackDown, it is a pay-per-view weekend, so we are finishing off with the predictions. So it's time for the main event.
Are we just having the main event podcast SmackDown Championship on the line? Are we having separate titles?
I think we should have one title.
One title, one world championship. Okay.
The preview and predictions this Sunday. So as always, it will be Arif who takes us through the card, noting down the predictions as we do battle it out for the still vacant main event podcast prediction championship, as we did draw for SummerSlam just about. Do you want to take this away? I think you seem so upset that you have to take control now.
It's not even the fact that I have to take control. It's how bad this pay-per-view looks on paper.
I think it's a good thing that's a network exclusive, so you
thank goodness.
You can't really buy it.
Is it going to be 3 hours?
I'd be surprised.
Because there's 6 matches.
I don't even know if they have the numbers to have an impromptu match.
I don't think they haven't got a pre-show.
No, I don't think they'll have a pre-show.
There's no pre-show.
Why would you have a pre-show? I mean, if you have a match in the pre-show, stick it on the main card. That's where
Exactly. Okay, so let's start off with the tag team qualifying match for the second place in the final tag team tournament match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Try and say that fast. The Usos versus We Don't Get Hype, We Stay Hype. The Hype Bros, Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. Reza, please go ahead and give me your prediction for that match.
I mean, it's pretty pointless having the Usos turn heel and then lose to the Hype Bros, isn't it? I mean, I think you have to go with the Usos winning the match.
Yeah, I'm going to go Usos as well because I think it sets up the rest of the night really well, and I think it is really telling. I mean, on SmackDown, once American Alpha won their match, I thought, okay, well, Alpha are going to win, and they're going to go ahead to the final, and they're going to end up winning. And obviously, I think this is probably the best way to do things. I am a little bit sour that American Alpha on the card for Backlash. I feel that's a big missing piece.
Sorry to interrupt. There was an update on this. I didn't know if it should be in the scoops. I think it was. They are running an injury angle. No one's really injured. They're just running an
angle. We got
a
separate scoop.
An extra scoop because the news was so bad. Is because the WWE didn't want them, to have a big payoff already. So it's going to be another one of those where you're taking on a journey with the face tag team. Who have to work through so much before they eventually dethrone the champions.
And I think that's the best way to do it, especially with all these new superstars.
Yeah,
it's definitely the best way to go forward. And let's move away from the tag team division for now and just go to The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, obviously, The Miz has had... Now, come on, Reza, we used to like The Miz.
I like The Miz, it's the opponent.
Talking smack. Hey, Dolph Ziggler's good.
I think everyone knows by now I'm not the biggest Ziggler fan anymore, so... Not his fault, I guess.
Things are exactly what they seem.
That sounds so upsetting.
I am a guy who loves other men. I'm sure he's that way inclined. I mean, and that's okay.
Just carry on.
Dolph Ziggler loves all the women. Oh, all the women. Okay, so The Miz is putting his Intercontinental Championship on the line versus Dolph Ziggler in just a singles match. Rosa, where does this go? Oh, no, wait. It's my turn to give you my prediction. And I'm going to stick with The Miz. I think it's too early to take the championship off him. I think Ziggler needs to turn heel, and this can be a perfect way for him to turn heel. But we've said it so many times. He should have turned heel after SummerSlam. The only thing that's possibly putting me towards Ziggler is the fact that he's the Colonel in the new KFC adverts. But
that just changed the whole game, doesn't it?
I'm going for The Miz.
I'm going to agree with you. I still think Miz can do more with the title than Ziggler can do.
I tried to put you out to dry with the whole KFC.
I'd be really surprised if The Miz drops the title here. I expect it to be a longer feud. To me, this feud came from nowhere. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think we do know the two have chemistry. So it should be a good match. But yeah, I do think The Miz will retain his title.
Sorry, just to confirm. The Miz to win or The Miz to retain his title? Because there are two different things there.
I'm going to go with The Miz to win and retain. It has to be, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going for The Miz to win as well. And then we shift our focus again to the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this is a 6-pack elimination challenge match. So what we're going to do is we're going to predict the winner, first and foremost, and then predict the order of eliminations. And you get half a point per elimination correct. So this is quite a lot on the line here.
Okay. This is making the women feel more relevant.
I think we have to. I think they've made these women feel more relevant, so that's the least we can do here at the Main Event Podcast. Equality for all. In fact, next week we're getting rid of Rosa for a female co-host. Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi, Natalya, and Nikki Bella. Rosa, who wins?
We discussed a bit last week, didn't we? Who's ready, who's not ready. I think the safe pick is Nikki Bella.
But is that the right pick?
That's not for me to say.
Ooh, so you're going with Nikki Bella?
I think Nikki Bella will win the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Okay. I'm going to go for...
Don't let your affection for Alexa Bliss cloud your judgment. You need the points.
Yep, okay, I won't let it cloud my judgment. Alexa Bliss is going to win.
Really?
Alexa Bliss is my pick.
Really?
And I think it's going to come down to her and Nikki Bella at the end. No, I'm gonna go for Carmella. I just feel like there's enough there for that feud to really take off.
Okay.
And for her to be given that, oh no, this is so difficult.
It's not easy, is it? I think Natalya's not going to win. Basically, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go for Becky Lynch, but I feel like it's too early. I feel like with her being the first draft pick for SmackDown, I think it's the easy option, and I think the WWE has got bigger fish to fry that evening, so they're not really going to be as bothered. So I think it's going to be Becky Lynch. Okay, order of elimination. I think it's gonna be Alexa Bliss eliminated first.
Okay.
And then Natalia,
Okay.
Naomi. Oh, this is so difficult. Carmella, Nikki Bella, and then Becky Lynch.
To win.
So that's the order of elimination, and then Becky Lynch to win.
All right. I just thought you eliminated Becky.
No,
Lynch
she
as
just
well.
gets eliminated. She's just like
Nobody
gotta
wins.
pin myself. She gotta pin myself. I don't know.
I think Natalia gets eliminated first.
Mm.
Then I think it will be Alexa Bliss.
Well,
Then
So-
I think it will be Naomi.
Mhm.
Then I think it will be.
yeah. Now you backed yourself into a corner, haven't you?
I think it will be Alexa Bliss.
No, you've already said Alexa Bliss is second.
Really?
Oh, trying to pull a fast one on me, eh?
Did I really say that? I thought I picked Natalia.
So you pick Natalia, then Alexa Bliss,
Oh, okay.
Then
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Natalia,
Naomi.
Alexa Bliss, Naomi,
Carmella,
Carmella.
and then you're down to Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella.
Oh yeah, so
And
Becky Lynch gets
it's-
eliminated. Yeah.
Yeah, Becky Lynch gets eliminated, and your winner is Nikki Bella. Good chance with that. And then we move on to Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Now, a lot has been, I guess, said by Bray Wyatt towards
Like-
this feud. Randy
like-
Orton has been a little bit less vocal and a little bit less present. But I think this is going to be one of the matches of the night. I think this is a feud that a lot of people have been waiting to see and wanting to see for a long time.
Hmm.
In the battle of Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, Rosa, who wins?
I'm praying Bray Wyatt wins. He used to. Right now he's on.
You know, he's not won a match on the pay-per-view for the past 10
It's
pay-per-views.
so stupid, isn't it? Verge of irrelevancy right now. A loss does little harm to Orton, whereas a loss can destroy the tiny momentum Bray does have.
Yep.
I hope he wins. I think WWE are intelligent enough to realise that they can't keep having Bray put others over. It's damaging him, so I think Bray Wyatt takes this.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go for Bray Wyatt as well. I think the real point there is that Bray Wyatt needs this victory so much more than Randy Orton does. Randy Orton can also still play up the fact that he's still injured from Brock Lesnar. There's so many ways you can go with it, whereas Bray Wyatt's basically been on annual leave for the past 6 years or something ridiculous. He's not been there. So I think it would be really good to let Bray Wyatt win this match.
It's a big win for him as well, beating Orton.
It is.
Could do
It
wonders
is.
for him.
And the co-main event of the evening, the Usos returning for their second match of the night
That's what we
versus
think.
I'm just one man and I'm a one-man band with Rhino for the tag team championships. I'm gonna go for Slater Rhino as your winners and your new WWE Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
I think everything has led towards this. The fact that American Alpha are injured, the fact that the Usos are now on the card versus the Hype Bros, and the fact that we think the Usos are going to win. I'm going to go for Heath Slater and Rhino to win, regardless of who they're facing. So even if the Hype Bros get through, I think Slater Rhino will win this match.
Really? I think
Undoubted.
I think the Heath Ledger free agent storyline will continue. I think it's going to be him falling at the final hurdle. You know, more fans will sympathise with him.
And the fans are already really sympathetic.
Usos turning heel for a reason. I think they'll leave as champions to set up a feud later on with American Alpha. Usos are going to walk out as the heel champions to rival the Uber face champions on Raw.
Well,
I think that's going to decide what happens with that, or the women's match is going to sway.
we'll agree to disagree. Or maybe the main event match with Dean Ambrose
Okay.
as your WWE World Heavyweight Champion versus AJ Styles.
Struggling with this.
Yeah.
I want to see Styles win. That's something I'd never thought I'd see in the WWE. Him with the WWE
we
Championship.
both definitely do. I think it would definitely elevate the brand as well.
I think. I don't know. I don't think Ambrose has been the best of champions in recent months. The feud has barely been a feud. I think...
No, they won't. No. They won't. No.
I'm going to go. I think Ambrose retains now.
Ooh, there it
I
is.
think Ambrose retains.
There it is. I think we should put extra points on this one because it's the main event.
Okay.
Should we put 3 points on this one?
Go for it. 3 points.
Because I'm going to go for AJ Styles to win.
Okay.
I just think it's the first SmackDown pay-per-view.
Yep.
I think that you've got AJ Styles in his first real position where he's facing someone that he can, like, we can conceivably see him beating. I mean, he just beat John Cena clean.
Yeah.
For him to now lose to Dean Ambrose in any way completely derails that entire road. And I think you've messed up with this one because I think AJ Styles winning leads to no changes, no.
I just say I can safely say I completely forgot about the Cena feud.
This works out really well.
3 points.
AJ Styles winning
Okay.
sets up the future of AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE World Championship, which is a money feud.
Yeah, and that I think this is something that everyone's been talking about. Last year, the record-breaking title reign by John Cena. I think that would be the time to make it happen.
No, they won't. No, they won't. No,
I messed up there, didn't I?
So, in conclusion, people, both Rosa and myself went for the Usos in their match against the Hype Bros for the number one contender tag team title match for later on in the night. Then both Rosa and myself went for the Miz in his match versus Dolph Ziggler. For Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, both Rosa and myself went for Bray Wyatt, obviously hoping that he gets the victory there. The women's championship match, both Rosa and myself went for a separate woman this time. Ooh,
Yes, we
thought I was
did.
going to say the same thing. I went for Becky Lynch and Rosa went for Nikki Bella with our respective choices on who gets eliminated first. Half a point per elimination. I'm not going to go through each of those, but I've got them written down here as well. In the co-main event of the evening, Rosa went for the Usos to win the tag team championships, whereas I went for Heath Slater and Rhino. Who better than Heath Slater and Rhino to be your new SmackDown tag team champions? And in the main event of the evening, Dean Ambrose, your WWE World Heavyweight Champion, versus AJ Styles. Rosa went for Dean Ambrose, and I went for AJ Styles to win and become the new WWE World Champion, and as well as that, for me to win and become the new TME Podcast Heavyweight Champion.
Well, wait, let's not get ahead of ourselves there.
Drink it in, man.
Well, I'm afraid on that note, that is all we have time for this week. Thanks to all of you that stuck around to the end to listen. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do get in touch. Make sure you follow us, like, recommend, subscribe on Podomatic, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, everywhere and anywhere you want. Again,
The internet.
Yes, the internet. If you can't find last few episodes, including this, on YouTube, please tune in elsewhere. I really do apologise for that. Big thank you to Arif for joining me today.
Surely if they're listening to the episode, then they've already found it, therefore they are listening elsewhere if it's not on YouTube.
I mean, let's say somebody's listening to it and his friend isn't because he's upset.
And they're like, hey there, that sounds like a really swell show. Then
Yes.
you be the role of the friend.
Yes, it is a swell show. I love the host.
Well, golly gosh, his co-host sounds even better than your host.
No, don't.
If anything,
no.
they should get rid of the host and just have it as a one-person show.
But yeah, somebody might have to tell someone else that it's not on YouTube. You never know.
And you never know what may happen next week on the Arif show.
On the Arif show. I'll tune in. I'll be nice. I'll tune into the Arif show.
Woo! One listener already. This can't go wrong.
But yeah, big thank you to you, my friend, for joining me today.
Thank you, Razan. Thank you, listeners, for joining us each and every week.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll be back next week with another episode where we will hopefully discuss plenty more talking points with more scoops, much more. Please enjoy Backlash this Sunday. I'll try to anyway. I've been your host, Razan. You've been listening to the Main Event Podcast.